Hi, I'm going to do one take just as if it were the real thing, so this is what you'd probably get. I'm John Shenholzer. I'm a person in long-term recovery from substance use disorders. And for me, that means I've been clean and sober since August 10th, 1982. Now, one thing I want you to understand, I've been very involved in the recovery community for a little bit over 32 years. I've been very connected to the criminal justice system as well as providers of substance abuse service, so I feel like I got my finger on the pulse of exactly what works and what doesn't work in our culture. Culture is an important word. Culture, we have a culture today that we didn't have in 1982. And the culture of substance use disorders is centered around a thing called stigma. Stigma, I believe, is the cause of a lot of bad policies. We have got to reduce the stigma associated with substance use disorders so we can get funding to do research so we can get good policy. Now, what I mean by our existing culture, back in the 1800s, early 1800s, we had what we call a slave trade. The culture of the day was that was accepted. People grew up in the South, they didn't know no better. Well, here we are in 2015, and what we have is a correction trade. People don't know any better. We have people growing up in police families and corrections families and public safety families, and they think this culture is cool, that this is the way it's going to be. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. We are spending way too much money on corrections and public safety trade when we could be spending this money on recovery business. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, recovery is abundant and it's available and it's very inexpensive. In America, we have over 23 million folks in recovery from substance use disorders that are ready, willing, and able to participate in helping other people achieve recovery. We do this by the delivery of what's known as recovery support services. What are recovery support services? Well, they're not substance abuse services. They're a little bit different because they're peer-driven. All these people in recovery, a lot of these folks want to be helping other people get recovery. So by being a peer leader, recovery coach, we can change the world at a price we can all afford. All across America, we should have recovery centers. We're run by recovery people to help people that want recover. It's real simple. We go inside jails and prisons. We create recovery-oriented systems of care within inside of our corrections institute, and we can reduce recidivism by incredible double-digit numbers quickly. In America, every year, anywhere between 40 and 80,000 people are dying from drugs and alcohol-related causes of death. It depends on what report you read what day. And this year, President Obama wants to put $100 million into public service announcements, so to speak. They want to reduce, by public service announcements, the death of all these folks. So they're going to do these commercials. And what we discovered, talk about a culture here, they want to spend $5.2 billion on the Ebola epidemic, okay? $5.2 billion when 2 people died of Ebola, but yet they only want to spend $100 million when we're losing 40 to 80,000 people from substance use disorders. So, see what the culture is telling us, what the culture is doing? Why do Ebola people get all this money and addicts don't get none? Well, it's really simple. All this $5.2 billion, they're going to go to public safety, correction, first offenders, hospitals, all these places that elect politicians that contribute to campaigns. Addicts don't have political action committees. They're too busy spending their money on drugs, so they really don't have a good enough voice to make a good enough change. So you see, we got a big mess here. We got a problem with our culture. We need to change our culture. And by doing so, we can not only reduce the death associated with addiction, but we can actually have a better society at large. I mean, just think about it. If we deliver recovery to these 23 million folks that need it, keeping in mind we've already got 23 million people in recovery, just think of what the impact that will have in America. We can do away with half of our substance abuse problem. My goodness, could we save a lot of money, heal some families? Anyway, this is a sample of what I could be saying on stage for real, so this is my sample piece. Thank you.